Hello everyone. In last video we had discussed about the INCO terms, that is international commercial terms. So today or now we will be moving forward to next topic, that is export promotion. There are various steps which the government takes in order to promote the export, so that if export is promoted, it not only improves the country's economic condition by increasing the production. If export increases, production increases. If production increases, more number of people will get employed. If more number of people get employed, more number of people will have money to spend. If they spend, then again different businesses will take the momentum, or they will get the profit. So in order to increase the economic condition of the country by giving the money in the hands of the people through giving them employment, the different export promotion schemes government has designed. By promoting the export, the government not only increases the economic condition of the country, it also even generates more revenue through tax. That is, if more people get employed and more people get salary, then people will start spending more. When they start spending more, then the businesses will start gaining more profit. If businesses gain more profit, the government will earn more tax, that is indirect tax. Collection will be more due to export. Now the third objective, or the third reason why government promotes the export is that the foreign currency will come into India and Indian currency will not be going out through export. Supposing India exports any product, say for example sugar. If the sugar is going to African countries or European countries, then European pound will come into India. Then the demand of the Indian currency in the international market will increase. Now when the demand increases, the value of the Indian currency will also increase. So in order to maintain the foreign exchange also, the export helps the government. So in order to promote the export, there are different ways in which the government promotes the export. In that, first one is EXIM policy. EXIM policy means export import policy. This export import policy was started in the year 2007. In the year 2007, the export import policy was started. 2007, the EXIM policy was started, and this policy is framed every 5 years. Every 5 years, the export import policy is framed. Now the latest EXIM policy is of the EXIM policy 2015 to 2020. On 31st March every 5 years the EXIM policy is revised. Now this year on the 31st March it had to be revised, but due to this prevailing COVID situation, it has been postponed to 2021. So next EXIM policy will be from 2021 to 2026. Now this current year, the 2015 to 2020 will be followed till next March 31st of 2021. So what does it contains? What is this EXIM policy? Export import policy is the policy of export import policy is the policy document framed by DGFT. DGFT means Director General of Foreign Trade. It is a body which monitors the import and export, or the international business, every 5 years for the promotion of foreign trade. Latest EXIM policy is the policy of 2015 to 20. It focuses on increasing export, boosting production, and supporting initiatives such as Make in India, Digital India, Startup India. All the initiatives which the government is taking, it tries to promote that and link all the government policies to the promotion of the export. Now this EXIM policy consists of various schemes. That schemes are related to promotional measures. Supposing if there is an existing business which is making a turnover of 100 crores in the international business. It will help those companies to increase it to 120 crores, 130 crores, 150 crores. How the government can help it? They will analyze their business and make certain schemes to them so that their export business is increased. Duty exemption scheme. One more method employed in the exempt policy is duty exemption, that is import duty or export duty. It will give concession in the duties or the taxes. Export promotion schemes. There are different sectors such as agriculture sector, automobile sector, coal sector, healthcare sector, etc. So in these specific sectors there will be certain councils made or the groups made. Those groups who will be the industry experts. They will analyze the different schemes that can be designed to promote the particular sector. So such schemes are also made. Special economic zone program. There are special economic zones made which are dedicated to the firms which are doing 100% export or which are doing maximum export. We will study about special economic zone later as a separate part. Sector specific schemes that I mentioned as export promotion schemes related to specific sectors. Now let us see what does exempt policy of 2015 to 2020 consist. Exempt policy of 2015 to 2020 consists of two main points or two main schemes. That is, first one is merchandise export from India scheme. Merchandise export from India scheme is related to the products, different products which are being it is related to products. Merchandise export from India scheme is related to various products which are product that is exported from India. That for that product there will be different schemes or different methods used to tools used to promote their business. The service export from India scheme is related to all the services which are exported from India. The different services which are exported from India are, for example, software as a service. It means that is SaaS, software as a service. Means the companies such as Infosys, TCS, Accenture, what these companies will do, they will provide services to the companies situated in foreign countries. For example, consider Walmart. Walmart is a big retail company, similar to how Big Bazaar is there in India. So Walmart is one of the world's largest chain of organized retails. So in Walmart, how Infosys gives service to Walmart? It gives service by supposing there are some 500 Walmart stores in US. So all the data related to sales about 500 retail stores will come to Infosys. Now what Infosys will do, all the sales data it will categorize it into, for example, if toothpaste is there, how many toothpaste are being sold, how many washing powders are sold, and which brand of washing powder is sold more in which area, which brand of cold drinks, Coke or Pepsi, Coke is sold in which area, which retail store, Pepsi is sold more in which retail store. Such analysis Infosys will do, and it will provide that data to Walmart. This is the example of how services can be exported. Now for example, that is related to IT service. Now for example, related to healthcare, how healthcare service can be exported. Healthcare as service, how it can be exported. Now hospitals and doctors are situated in India, but exporting of healthcare means it doesn't mean that You have to send doctors, or you have to establish hospitals in other countries. There is one emerging concept called as healthcare tourism. Healthcare tourism. Healthcare tourism means there will be different companies in other countries, such as in the countries where there is no much development in the healthcare, such as African countries, or some of the Asian countries such as Indonesia, where there is no much healthcare development. So there, what will happen, there will be some companies in the Indonesia or Africa, wherein those companies will connect the patients from those companies to different hospitals in India. Clear? What they will do? Different patients in Indonesia or Africa, they will connect them to hospitals in India. Hospitals in India need patient, and people in Indonesia and African countries, they need treatment. So what these companies will do, they will connect these patients to the hospitals, and they will take the commission from hospitals for the patient that they have referred. This is one of the example of how the services can be exported in IT sector, in healthcare sector, and different other sectors are also emerging because of the high quality of talent and resources available in our country. Now, why people from other country come to India for healthcare service? They come for India for the healthcare service because here the healthcare service is cheap. It is cheap for them. Then supposing they want to take up a heart surgery, a bypass surgery they want to take up, it is cheaper to take a heart surgery in India. It is cheaper in India to take a heart surgery than in Africa or Indonesia or Malaysia, etc. You might have. Then next one is this is merchandise export, means it is related to all the goods. Service export from India scheme related to all services such as RT service, healthcare service. Subsidized office space in SEZ. There are SEZs all across India, that is special economic zone. We'll study about special economic zone later. As of now, remember that SEZ means there will be certain area which is designated for establishing the manufacturing unit. Whoever establishes manufacturing unit in this SEZ area, SEZ is an area. Whoever establishes the company in SEZ in that area, they will get benefit from the government. Now digital signature has been allowed for whatever the documentation has to be made for the import and export. You already studied the different documentation. All those documentation can be done online, and signature of the authorized signatory can also be done online. Duty credit script is transferable. Duty credit script means, this will study later. It means the tax which the government gives as discount. For example, if 5% is the export duty, now government will give 2% discount. Now if it gives 2% discount, the exporter has to pay 3% only. Now this 2%, what it will do, it will give it as an incentive to the exporter. That is, this 2% he can use it however he want. He can use that to pay the taxes that he has to pay on import. Supposing he is importing raw materials, for that raw materials he has to pay the duty or the tax. That tax he can pay through this 2% discount what he has got from the government for exporting. Now next method is recognize and reward. They have made one more thing, that is, whoever does the maximum export, they are recognizing them and they are giving awards to them, so that it motivates other manufacturers also to increase their export. Now they have started also grading, giving the gradings to all the exporters: 5-star exporter, 4-star exporter, 3-star exporter, 2-star and 1-star. These stars are given based upon their turnover or how much revenue they earn, foreign exchange revenue they earn. Next one is no repeated submission of documents. Supposing if they are an exporter, then they have to obtain EIC. One example is import export code, that is export import code they have to obtain. While exporting, they have to provide document related to their import export code. Repeatedly they don't have to provide this. Once they are registered with the government, then when the name of the firm is mentioned, automatically the import export council will know that this person is registered with the DGFT. Tax discount of 3% on agriculture is given and 5% to village industry. These are some of the policies, highlights of the EXIM policy of 2015 to 2020. Now in that we will go in detail. First one is merchandise export from India scheme. Merchandise export from India scheme. Under this foreign trade policy of 2015 to 20, merchandise export from India scheme, this is the short form for MEIS, that is merchandise export from India scheme. It intends to incentivize, that is incentivize means give incentive or give more benefit to exporters. Export of goods manufactured, only goods manufactured, not services, in India or produced in India. The incentives for goods widely exported from India. Industries producing or manufacturing such goods with a view to making Indian exports competitive. Those companies which have the objective of making Indian exports more competitive, such firms are given the benefit under this scheme. MEIS covers goods notified for the purpose of the scheme. So basically what MEIS does is that MEIS has identified some 5,000 goods. There are 5,000 goods and there are some 400 countries. So in MEIS scheme what will happen? MEIS means merchandise export from India scheme. MEIS scheme what will happen is that these 400 countries are grouped into 3, that is group A, group B and group C. So this group A will get 1%, group B will get 2% and group C will get 5%. So 1, 2 and 5%. So if whenever the export is done into these countries, group A, B and C, it will get 2%, it will get 3%, it will get 5%. If any product out of these 5,000 products, if any product out of these 5,000 products is exported to country which belongs to group A, then they will get 2% discount on the export duty. If it is exported to any country which belongs to group B, then that product gets 3% discount, group C 5% discount. Like this, different discount schemes is being provided for the export of goods. Only for export of goods there are countries, different categories, and category A, B, C. So these 5,000 products, if any product is not there in this 5,000 list, then it doesn't get the benefit. And if any country is not present in these 3 groups, that also does not get benefit. The product has to be present in the list prepared by the government of 5,000 products, and the country to which it is exporting, it has to be in any of these 3 groups. Then they will get the benefit from the government. that is regarding merchandise export from India scheme, MEIS. Now next is service export from India scheme. Service export from India scheme aims to promote export of service from India by providing duty scrip credit for eligible exports. Under the scheme, service providers located in India would be rewarded under the SEIS scheme for all the eligible export from services from India. So same thing for all the exports what the government is giving, it is giving discount on the export duty. This export, one more term what you have to remember here is the important term that you have to understand is what is the meaning of duty scrip credit. Duty scrip credit. Duty means what? Duty means tax. Credit means benefit. Duty means benefit. Now what will happen when service is being exported or goods is being exported? Government will give discount on the duty which they pay. For example, custom duty they pay and they get 2% discount on the turnover. If the whatever the turnover is there, 2% of that they will get as a discount. When now this discount, what will happen? Initially, if supposing 5% is the export duty, the companies will have to pay all this 5%. Clear? All this 5% they have to pay as a tax. Now how this they will get? Now this tax they have got, they have to get the benefit, credit benefit they have to get. How this benefit they will get? They will get the benefit in the form of scrip. What this scrip? Scrip means that now when they pay 5% discount duty, they will get 2% discount. This 2% discount, what the government has done is that they will give it as a chance for the exporter to transfer this discount what it has earned. For example, one company has exported goods of say 10 lakh. When it exports the goods of 10 lakh, it has to pay 5% tax. Now how much they will pay? 10 lakhs 5% is 10 lakh. 10% 1 lakh 50,000 they will pay as a tax. When they pay 50,000 tax, the government will give them 2% discount, that is 20,000 they will give as a discount. This 20,000 the government will allow it. Now it has exported 10 lakh worth goods. Now it wants to import the same company wants to import one machinery. It wants to import one machinery, new technology it wants to import, and on that it has to pay 2% as import duty. Now this 2% can be paid by Now this 2% can be paid in the form of this can be find the discount which has got previously. Not only this, not only in the import duty, under this scheme the government has allowed the exporter to use this credit scrip or use this benefit of tax benefit to use however they want. They can pay export duty, or they can pay import duty, or they can pay service tax, or they can pay income tax. Whatever they want they can do with that discount what they have got. That is the meaning of duty scrip credit. That in simple terms, whatever the discount in the tax that government provides, that discount it can use however it want. It can pay for the export duty, import duty, or for its tax it has to pay within the country. For any domestic sales it has to pay any tax. For that also it can use that. I hope it is clear. If it's not clear, I will explain it once more. Let me know. Now, what are the export incentives? This is one, that is EXIM policy is one of the method. Now, which are the other methods to promote the export? That are special economic zones, export oriented unit. There is one special economic zone, export oriented unit, export processing zones, software technology park, biotechnology park, electronic hardware technology park. These are the different promotional measures other than the export import policy that government has taken in order to promote the export. Now, next is special economic zone. In this first one is special economic zone. What is special economic zone? Special economic zones or SEZs in India are areas that offer incentive to resident businesses. Indian businesses which want to export their products, which want to manufacture and export the products. For such companies, certain area is reserved. Under this area, if they establish their manufacturing unit, then what the government does is that they provide the basic infrastructure, such as within that area, such as the good transportation, street light facility, water facility, or the parking facility, loading facility, unloading facility. All such things, infrastructures will be provided for them. Duty free export. For export, they will give tax free export, tax incentive and other measures designed to make it easier to conduct the business. There are certain tax incentives provided. Accordingly, SEZs in India are popular investment destination for many multinational, particular exporters. There are many multinational companies which they want to establish the directly SEZ only. They will establish the SEZ and allow other small companies to start their manufacturing in that area. Now, best example of nearby SEZ is Aegis Aerospace, which is located near Belgaum, or the MIDC that is located, or the industrial area in Udyambag in Belgaum. These are all SEZs where if you establish your organization or manufacturing unit, you will get the concessions in different ways. Now let us go in detail what are the different benefits that we get if you established your company in an SEZ or in an area which is recognized as an SEZ. Supposing you established one company in Aegis Aerospace or in MIDC, or say, or in there is one food park, Satara Food Park, that is also an SEZ. If you established your organization there, then duty free import and domestic procurement of goods for development, operation, maintenance of your company. If you are exporting all your products, then you will get duty free import, domestic procurement of goods. If you are taking the raw materials within the country, then you will get certain benefits such as transportation benefits, tax benefits, etc. 100% income tax exemption on export income for first 5 years. For first 5 years, 100% income tax exemption. Now, when you earn profit as a businessman, you need to pay income tax, your personal income tax. That personal income tax will be exempted for first 5 years. Exemption from goods and service tax. Single window clearance for states and federal government. You don't have to go to different departments to get the clearance. You will get one window clearance. Yes.